important outcomes. One, the level of prostitution has clearly decreased, demand has decreased, and that basis then trafficking has clearly decreased as well. So it sounds like the legislation that has been implemented in Norway and Sweden really has had a material effect on the whole area of prostitution.
Yeah, we can see that the market have increased, and then it is easier for the police to have control over the prostitution market, and we can also easier survey both the girls, both the men who's in back of the human trafficking. It's easy for us to have control over this.
Well,
You can say you can just end that the fewer women you have selling sex on the streets, the fewer women are going to be exploited for human trafficking. So it's
knock-on effect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time and safe home. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're running around in suit.
Okay.
Skal du begynne, eller skal du...
Ja.
Okay, we're rolling, John. You're on time.
Starter du, eller? Ja.
Today has been an important day for this issue of trafficking and prostitution in Ireland. We have been working very hard to bring the Scandinavian model, and particularly the Swedish model, to the Irish Parliament to change the law and criminalise men for buying sex. Maybe you might explain to us what was the situation in Norway before the legislation was introduced, and what were the key changes in the legislation since you've introduced it?
The prostitution market in Norway before the legislation was rather high. We have a problem in the street with West African girls that were very aggressive in selling their body. This turned up to be on a political level, and they said that they didn't want it to have it like this anymore. How many girls was it in the streets?
Somewhere between 75 and 100 girls a day.
And after the legislation came in January 2009, the reduction have been about 50%.
It's important to say that the immediate reaction was no girls on the streets. And for several months the streets were clear of girls, but eventually they were coming back, first a couple and then some more and then some more. So as of today there is about a 50% reduction from the, of course the numbers are not exact, but somewhere around 50% reduction on the indoor market and the outdoor market as well.
One of the comments that's made is that when you introduce this legislation that it goes underground. You made it clear today that there's no real underground.
No, because these girls are selling the body, and they have to go marketing in it. And if they go indoor, they use the internet for advertisement.
Yeah.
And if the customers can find the girls, the police also can find the girls.
And it's important to say that it's not the legislation that made the girls go on the internet, it's the internet itself that you can broadcast yourself to the whole world. That is, but it's also important to say that the legislation was also to change the morale and the ethics in the public in Norway, to say that buying sex is not okay, because buying sex is somehow financing organized crime. If you're buying sex from a girl that is a victim of human trafficking, or you basically are funding the organizers and the pimps, because she has to give some of her money back to the pimp. So actually what the buyers of sex are doing is that they putting money into organized crime.
And was there a big detailed debate within Norway about the whole issue of prostitution? As one of the concerns in the Irish context is that many people think, look, it's about two consenting adults, and look, as long as I'm not participating, it's fine. Was there a big debate in the country kind of discussing the reality of prostitution for the prostitutes and the implications of it?
Yes, it was big debates, and it's safe to say that the helping organization for the women's, they were saying no to the legislation. But I think now after the legislation they see that it has some benefits, and the girls are telling us working on the street that actually they feel safer now because they know that the police are closer now than before because they are after the customers. So actually the relationship to the girls both on the indoor and the outdoor market has improved for the police. We get more intelligence information now than we did before, and yeah, they feel safer because they know that the police is somewhere around trying to take the customers, and they know it's part of the game.
Yeah.
But they are not they are witnesses. They are not. If you treat them with respect and you kind of tell them what are the options, you can refer them to social services and helping organization. They understand that we are not after to hurt them, but we are after the customers.
Just as a question of that again is that introducing legislation is fine, but it's really about implementing it and making it happen. What sort of level of arrests and prosecutions have there been against men buying sex?
In 2009 we had about 128 fines that we had in Oslo Police District. In 2010 it was approximately 80 or 90, and for this year until this day it's about 60. Reason for that it's going down is because there are not so many customers, and also that the police not are using the legislation to go actively to pick up customers. We have used the media on those few cases that we have, and they go out to the public and show what happens with the customers.
I think it's safe to say that we have never been to court with someone not accepting the fine. All the arrests we have done, the customers have accepted the fine. So we never been to court yet. Yeah.